Ladies and fucksticks, no longer will I have to take Bud Light sponsorships because the opportunity of a lifetime, Pulse Chain, is probably not too goddamn far away. We have tweets from Richard Hart finally giving us tangible updates in regards to some of the final updates being made with Pulse Chain. We got some leaks from some private chats describing how one of, if not the final test has at the time of recording already been completed on Pulse Chain. We also have devs on the Pulse Chain team saying prepare yourself for Pulse Chain mainnet. Folks, I know many of us have been waiting for this thing for goddamn about 2 years at this point, but it now seems that this thing really may be a month or two, hell, weeks, maybe even days away. So now, so more than ever, it's extremely important to make sure you have a plan ready to capitalize on what's likely to be one of the last best opportunities there's out there in all of crypto. I mean, folks, comparing the kind of growth that some Pulse Chain competitors has had in the past, I mean, thousands of X growth is not impossible. Richard Hart himself has said that he intended Hex to be a 10,000X. It goddamn did it. He intended Pulse Chain to be a 10,000X, and we'll see if it's going to happen. But folks, regardless if it's a 10,000X, 100X, 1,000X, never before have I seen in years of studying crypto such an obvious, no-brainer, home run, hit it out of the ballpark kind of play. It is so rare to find the combination of both solid fundamentals plus massive upside potential in crypto. If you try and compare how many other opportunities there have been in crypto of similar quality with the upside potential, I mean, folks, there's literally only a handful. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of these competitors we're seeing on the screen, arguably. I mean, folks, look, typically to find these kinds of returns in crypto, you have to go dumpster diving. You have to try and find the latest meme coin, which is super high risk because they're fundamentally, due to the nature of meme coins, so easily replaceable in terms of what's the newest, hottest thing of the second. Tons of influencers that are massive bag holders in this thing. Everyone's FOMOing in. This kind of growth is not sustainable, especially in the midst of a goddamn bear market. We're not even close to the Bitcoin halving, and this thing did a fucking trillion X. I mean, folks, if you're in Pepe and you got a trillion X in a month or so, I don't know about you, not financial advice, but I take the money and run. Now, my point with bringing this up is that oftentimes people feel like they need to find the newest low cap gem or try and find a meme coin, but by the time you hear about it, it's already pumped to the moon and there's already a bunch of bag holders and you're just buying the top and you're just becoming exit liquidity for the guys that got in early. But with Pulse Chain, you have the opportunity to be one of those early people. Looking at other Ethereum and Pulse Chain competitors in the past, typically the first month or first quarter of them having gone live was not just a cycle all-time low, but the goddamn all-time low. So for those of you buying a significant dip within the first month, within the first quarter, has a decent chance of buying the all-time goddamn low for Pulse Chain or PulseX. Now, in regards as to what I'm doing, I have a combination of both stablecoins and Hex. Hex, mostly because it has the best chance of holding its value on the Pulse Chain side of things. I mean, we don't know if there's going to be some kind of dichotomy in the price between eHex and pHex, but Richard has himself said that he doesn't want to see cheap Hex anywhere. We don't know what's going to end up being the case. Maybe there's a slight premium on the pHex side of things over eHex, but due to arbitrage opportunities, I think it is likelier than not that over time, both eHex and pHex will have some kind of comparable value. I think they will be valuable on both chains moving forward, because if far too many people start going over to Pulse Chain, well, then the staking rewards on the Hex side of things will start looking valuable. So my point is, I do think Hex and stablecoins kind of make sense. Now, me and Furu Finance have most recently had a discussion where we talked about kind of what our launch strategy is for Pulse Chain. And frankly, because there's so many goddamn unknowns, we don't know what premium over the SAC phase Pulse Chain or PulseX will launch at. We don't know what the ratios will be between Pulse Chain, PulseX, pHex, eHex to Pulse Chain. We don't know what the bridge will look like if you have to buy Hex to get in, or because there's so many fundamental unknowns, I believe a dollar cost averaging strategy is the only solution to mitigate all this uncertainty. For myself, I'll probably get rid of half my pHex and my stablecoin copies the first day or two pre-bridge, and then I'll dollar cost average into Pulse and Pulse X on whatever dip I can manage the first quarter it's out, folks. So look, I honestly think due to all the uncertainty, just dollar cost averaging your way into dips. The more significant the dip, the more significant your dollar cost average is probably the only way to mitigate all this uncertainty. Now, I want to refer to Bitcoin very briefly here, folks, because in the coming months and years, there's a very solid chance that people watching this video right now are going to be very well off, and you're going to experience what it is to live through a euphoric marketplace where things are going parabolic. And you best believe that people are going to get extremely bullish. People are going to start saying 10,000x, 20,000x. People are going to start saying things like, oh, we're decorrelated. Folks, historically speaking, markets tend to get toppy roughly a year or so after the latest Bitcoin halving. Next Bitcoin halving is March 2024. So things are probably going to start looking somewhat toppy come, March 2025, summer 2025, if crypto goes on to behave in a similar way that we have in the past. And so while that's not financial advice, I do want to say that have a plan or else plan to fail. Because I had a plan come this last bull cycle, but I didn't stick to it. I allowed my emotions to guide my decision making, and because of that, I missed out on so much opportunity if I would have realized gains. So I had a plan, but I didn't stick to it. So I implore all you guys to come up with a plan and stick to it, because when things get euphoric, people will get emotional. If you make decisions based off your emotions, never before has that been a good strategy in the world of investing. I do want to say that I have recently launched a brand new Patreon group where if you want to follow what I'm doing, my portfolio, percentage breakdowns, when I'm buying, when I'm selling, plus specifics as to my take profit strategy, there is a link down in the description below for you to join my Patreon. But folks, again, just historically speaking, there's been obvious telltale signs as when a market gets euphoric based off timing analysis and other things like that. So have a plan, if not plan to fail. But mostly, folks, congratulations, and like and subscribe. Stick around, follow this channel, because we'll be breaking down tons of Pulse Chain news as things go live.
Hey, yeah, we broke the ceiling. We going from broke to billions. Sex up next, yo, we potting the pump. No vex for a hex, yo, we locking it up. Pulse Chain, no, we not in the rut. With a heart like Richard the Marcus, we best. I'm a day one sacrifice, yeah, we guess. And we going from broke to beast, we invest. Crypto, we grow with ease, we impressing. Free game,